Hello everyone, welcome to today's session. I'm really excited to see you all here. I'm Jyoti Agarwal. I lead product marketing at Ameo Exotel. Uh, Before we start, just a quick check. Can you see all of us? Can you hear us? Can you see my screen? All right, that's good. After this session, we'll share the recording of this session as well as the slides. If you have any questions, you can head to the Q&A session in the Zoom, and we would love to know if you have any questions or queries related to what we are presenting. And if after the session, if you have any queries, you can write to us at hello@exotel.com. All right. In today's session, we are going to unveil the emerging markets' biggest full stack customer engagement platform. Here we will see what is full stack customer engagement platform and how integrated customer journeys work. Joining me today is Sachin Bhatia. Sachin is the founder and CEO of Ameo. He is the Chief Growth Officer at Exotel. In his remarkable journey of 2 decades, Sachin has built B2B products, mostly in customer engagement space and communication space. I also have Varun Raj with me. He heads the global business at Exotel. His expertise lies in opening new markets and setting up the new partnerships. I also have with me Aman Goyal. Aman is the CEO and co-founder of Cogno AI, a conversational AI platform which is now part of Ameo Exotel. Uh, um, Aman has been a tech entrepreneur and has worked on a lot of B2B products which are used by large enterprises. To set the agenda of this session, we are going to let you know what OneXO is and how it was formed, how it stands out, what do we mean by full stack customer engagement platform, and what are the layers that makes a full stack customer engagement platform. We will also see some of the integrated customer journeys and the use cases of OneXO. Without any further ado, I am giving the stage to Sachin to take us through the customer engagement platform and what we mean for it. Sachin, over to you.
Thank you, Jayati, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are logging in from. I see folks logging in from Mongolia. I see folks logging in from Africa. Some of the old partners, customers. So it's tremendous to see the power of what you can do when you can run things virtually, right? So we have folks joining in from multiple continents today. Some of you might already know this, but today the OneXO is a placeholder brand that we have for all the three products. And Jyoti, there is some disturbance that comes on the screen. I think the whole screen is sort of covering it. So thank you so much. Yeah. And we serve today multiple geographies, 60 over countries and over 22 verticals. Overall, about 6,000 companies are using at least one of the OneXO products, whether it's the platform, the conversational, or the contact center. Folks who are logging in from India, you would know that any company that you as a consumer are today interacting with, most of them, are customers for the OneXO platform in some form or the other, whether it's edutech, whether it's logistics, whether it's e-commerce, grocery, if you're ordering food. Whatever you're doing, I think we are touching your lives more than once a day, every day. So thank you for your trust and your business. Let's look at how an engagement stack looks like and what all layers does it comprise of. At the very basic layer, you have channels or communication APIs, right? So you could be WhatsApp, email, chat, social, video, and any other channels that would come in future. And that sort of is the base layer. Over that, you have, an application or a workflow layer wherein you can have simple stuff like IVR or a complex stuff like intelligent routing, wherein which agent should handle that interaction from what channel, what should be SLAs of each of those workflows, how would you monitor, how would you optimize, how would you change workflows as the business is coming and asking for newer things. And then the latest entrant, which we are very excited about, which is a layer of intelligence and automation can we now take 5%, 10%, 15% of those queries and have a bot augment and address those queries and keep the bot becoming more and more intelligent so that the humans can focus on interactions which are emotionally enriched and emotionally high and higher value, right? So that is how we perceive. So any tool that you use today is lying in one of these three layers, right? You might be using all three layers, you might not be using all three layers depending on the scale. But any tool that you have today is actually comprising is actually fitting in one of the three layers. The tragedy of the situation is, and Jayati, just go to the next slide. If it's not just about these three layers, but if you see all the use cases that exist in enterprise today, right? The use cases, typical usual suspects are you might be reaching out to customers for acquisition, sales, and marketing. This might be a fulfillment. Uh, think of a delivery guy or a cab guy calling you when the cab has been booked. That's like a fulfillment use case. It could be a relationship management use case. A bank HNI advisor talking to you. It could be support, which is about 70% of the volume of interactions, or it could just be a notification, right? All those are use cases that exist. And these use cases today across channels are served by multiple tools, right? Some of you might be using some on-prem contact center solutions, multiple messaging providers. Somebody's giving you WhatsApp, somebody's giving you SMS. Then you're taking a bot from a third-party company and trying to integrate into those channels. Then getting those bot interactions into the contact center. Then having notifications being automated. All this is complex. All this requires time. And essentially, it's a decelerator for the business. So anytime a business user asks for a change, the IT struggles to deliver those changes the way it's almost rocket science to get these systems to talk to each other. And that is what we felt that what if, Jyoti, just go to the next slide. What if we could bring in one platform which solves all these use cases across channels, and these tools seamlessly talk to each other, right? Would that change how businesses think about customer engagement? Would that allow them to make changes faster, right? I think most business users can think of small incremental steps, but just the cost to implement those steps is so high that you usually do not end up doing it because the cost of doing that and then failing is very, very high. What if we make it extremely seamless that you could do these experiments, the bot can hand over to a chat, a notification can be sent immediately for a customer service case, and we'll be discussing some of those use cases today. But that is the vision with which the three products came together and said, can we create an experience which is world class? Can we create an experience which is a first in the market? So there are actually three promises of the OneXO stack. Just go to the next slide. And to illustrate the example of the first promise, which is a single unified interface comprising of all three layers, is think of how well a MacBook works with the iPhone, works with an AirPod, right? So they just work seamlessly, right? And that has been an advantage of if you enter into Apple ecosystem, everything just simply works, right? It's extremely seamless. One doesn't have to think too much. And as you're upgrading components, they continue to work with each other. So the three layers that we talked about, the communication, Exotel is a leader in the cloud communications platform on voice, SMS, and some of the other channels. Ameo is a well-established contact center player, and we used to do hybrid on-prem and cloud, and we have layered that over the Exotel platform. And then Cogno, which has cracked the conversational AI both on chat and messaging, chat and voice, put that as like a front end for the contact center, right? And this means that all the journeys that are now existing in silos, where customers are talking to you on multiple channels, broken experiences, expensive experiments, can all be done very seamlessly. So the first is promise of a full stack where everything just works extremely seamlessly, and we keep adding more capabilities onto the platform. The second promise, which I think for an emerging market is extremely important, is the promise of a true cloud. So just go to the next slide. We believe that for a business, it should be as simple as if you have connectivity, open browser and start working, right? So in contact centers today, you have infrastructure from servers, routers, switches, PRI lines, then the software of contact center per se, then a system integration layer to make stuff work. And usually the projects are months, if not years. And what if you could just open a browser, have a reasonably good internet connection and start working, right? There is nothing to be installed, there is nothing to be procured, and we take care of from infrastructure completely on cloud to telephony completely on cloud to a seamlessly integrated contact center with most of whatever is out there in case of CRMs, and then bring in a bot layer and then bring in the notification or the communication layer, right? So the promises of a true cloud, absolutely compliant. All this has been happening in the West for quite some time, but emerging markets, this was a complex problem because of the regulatory scene. And in India, Indonesia, Saudi Arabia, UAE, those are the first markets that we are directly going in and setting up our true cloud. We also are working with partners in some of the other geographies to make the true cloud available in Africa, Middle East, and Asia. Extremely focused on emerging geographies, ladies and gentlemen, because we believe the problems here are much different from the problems that exist in the West, right? SIP has been ubiquitous in some of these markets, but that's something IP/PST and intermixing is something which is coming to these markets now. And Exotel has taken a leap. We are now a licensed virtual network operator provider. We got the license. Some of you might have seen the press release. So our promise of True Cloud is we will offer you connectivity better than the telecom operators just because we have so many of them interconnected to us, so we can have fallbacks. Extremely high reliable infrastructure, software, as well as telephony lines. It's very, very scalable. Today, we handle about 50 million engagements on our cloud platform. And industry-leading delivery rates on messaging, right? Again, that is a promise that we are bringing in by having redundancies at multiple layers with multiple operators, so that you don't have to think about, do I need to think of a fallback or not? How would this get delivered? So that's the second promise. So first was a unified experience. The second was a true cloud. And the third promise we have is at the customer journey level, right? So your customer is touching you on multiple channels and multiple touch points. Can we have one single view? Just go to the next slide, Jayat. Can we have one single view of the customer across those touch points? If you have sent an SMS, if there has been a bot interaction, if there has been a contact center interaction, can all that be viewed in one seamless CDP and not just viewed? Can you now drill down? Can you now filter actionable campaign data and now take an action on that, right? That's a holy grail of customer journeys. And that is something that we believe if you're able to bring all these tools seamlessly on cloud, then there is enough data to bring in insights. These insights can now tell you what channel does Sachin prefer to talk to? What is the best time to call Sachin? How many people who order typically have 2 to 3 touch points before the order is delivered? Today, that data is really siloed. You can't have that data in one place. And our promise is that once we have all these integrated touch points and data, we are able to show you one single view of the customer. And that's the holy grail, as I said, of customer service and customer engagement. So that's the third promise. So I will repeat again. First promise, a seamless experience. Think of an Apple-like experience, multiple things working together. They just work. You don't have to think about integration. You don't have to see how it will integrate. The second is a true cloud experience, which includes the telco lines, which includes the infrastructure. And the third is one single view of the customer journey, integrated customer journey across these tools, across those touch points.
So thanks everyone for joining in. So as Sachin mentioned, the first layer, that's the building block of any engagement that you're having with your customer, is the communication layer, right? So you have multiple modes of communicating with your customers. You have voice, you have SMS, WhatsApp, and in the future, there would be a lot of other channels to communicate with your customers, right? So the whole idea of this particular layer, that's what Exotel has been doing for some time. But what we're doing with that is we're going to give you granular access to all the channels that you have. So now let's say, for example, you have a complex use case in your mind, now you would have the APIs and absolute control of any of these channels, and you can build in the experience that your customers would love, right? So that's what we are hoping to do. So you can think of it as the Lego blocks of communication or the building blocks of communication. You can put together a piece and make a beautiful journey. That's the whole idea about providing all these channels through APIs. Now we have these APIs. We have been always an API first company. So these APIs are highly reliable and we have excellent uptimes. Now to get here, there's been a lot of, there's been a lot of work that we've done, right? We have invested a lot in all the countries that Sachin mentioned. We've invested a lot in actually going and getting tier A operator connectivities. We have taken the pipes, we have put our data centers there, put our boxes, and now we have exposed this connectivity to you guys through APIs. So for you, now you don't need to talk to an operator or talk to any of the other channel owners. You can just come to Exotel, take the APIs that you like, and start building the experiences that you want. Now, there are a couple of use cases that we have been evangelizing over the period of time that you can see. So, for example, we have been the pioneers of number masking use case that we call ExoBridge in the emerging markets. So, we power some of the well-known brands out there. People are also using us for campaigns. So, let's say, for example, you want to run a campaign to a cohort of customers where it might be for a payment reminder call, or it might be for a notification, right? If you typically had to do this with your own infrastructure, that's going to cost you a lot and it's going to be momentary. Now, what you can come and do with Exotel is just log into us, use our APIs, blast these campaigns, and we'll, actually absorb all the complexity for you. So these are simple APIs giving you granular control and you can build what you want. The third one is a product that we have launched recently. It's called the Exo Verify product. It's a suite of verification products. So we have verifications through multiple channels. And one of the innovative things that we have done is the drop call verification or the missed call verification. It actually reduces the entire authentication experience of an app-driven authentication to under 6 seconds on an average. That's what our beta usage shows. And the experience is super seamless, right? So we have app-to-app calling, an entire in-house VoIP SDK and protocol that we have built, which powers the app-to-app experience that you want to give to your ecosystems. And the beauty in that is we know that emerging markets, the data connectivity might not be reliable. You might have a fleet that's on the road. They are switching between towers and data connectivity can drop. The app-to-app now absorbs that complexity as well. So if there is a bad network, then it's able to switch to PSTN, and we're able to do all this seamlessly, and you don't have to keep worrying about these problems. We also have live streaming. That's something that we have brought to the market first in the emerging markets again. So some of you might be building bots, voice bots. Some of you might be interested in getting a live stream of the audio packets while your sales team is talking to customers, right? For further analysis or giving them some sales guidance. What you can do with the Exotel stack. Now let's imagine that these conversations are happening on the Exotel stack. You can stream this to an endpoint, and then you can start consuming these for your benefit. Now, as I mentioned, it can be a bot that's your own bot that's answering these calls for you, or it can be the streams getting fed into a sales guidance or a sales coaching tool that gives pop-ups to your sales representatives to have a better conversation. So these are some of the things that we have done. And just to kind of sum it up over here, I would like you to take away 3 things, right? One, going forward, it's not necessary for any of you guys to actually invest in hardware. We're speaking about a world where you don't have any communication infrastructure on your premise. That's expensive. We've been there. We have seen customers do that. They've burned their fingers. It's absolutely expensive. You can come to us, just take these APIs. We manage the show for you. And on top of this, in the emerging markets, usually the connectivity is not very reliable. So you got to build in a lot of redundancy. So let's say, for example, an operator 1 goes down, you're able to now switch to operator 2, and you don't need to do that. We do that for you, right? So these kind of things are already absorbed by Exotel, and that's how we are able to kind of promise a 99.95% uptime. So that's about the channels and the building blocks for communication. I'd hand it over to Sachin.
Thanks, Vadim. So once you have this awesome scalable API platform, you now start thinking about how would a customer interaction, whether it's a customer reaching to any of the channels for a support use case or a query use case, or you trying to reach out to your customers for a sales or a collections use case, right? So think about these departments and they're reaching out to their customers, or the customers are reaching out to them for various reasons. The Ameo Contact Center platform essentially tries and integrates all these channels and gives an option for the same agent to handle interactions coming in from multiple channels with the context of the customer. So let's say if Jayati called us in the morning, and then in the evening she has sent an email, and then there was an interaction with her on Facebook Messenger. All that is in one single seamless view. That's our omni-channel contact center product. You also have a simple to use, SMB friendly cloud contact center product called Exolite, wherein you can actually log onto that platform right away while we are talking. You could actually take a number, start designing your flow, and route calls to agents. Today, those agents can handle those calls on their mobile phone. Very soon, they will be able to handle those calls within the browser itself. So, which means you don't need any integrator to even come in. You just buy a number and you start, talking to your customers in next 15, 20, 30 minutes, as soon as the KYC process is done. Now, our thought is that we'll also be able to scale the system with you. So let's say you start with 5, 10, 20 agents. As your operations grows, as your business grows, and some of our customers, we have grown that way, right? Ola and Myntra were garage companies when we started their contact center. And as your business grows, the needs will become more and more complex. So you would now require supervision. You would now require monitoring. You would now require a predictive dialer to come in. You would possibly also require complex routing to be done. All that can now seamlessly be taken onto the cloud call center, which is the Ameo Cloud Call Center. And as you add more channels, we can take you to the omni-channel contact center, right? So you have all three mediums. You could start with 1, 2, 3 agents on Exolite. As soon as you cross a certain threshold scale and complexity, you can go to the cloud call center. As you add more channels, you can go to the omni-channel call center. And all this is for you. It's one seamless platform on which you're logging in and doing this. With that, let me bring the bot guy. That once you have enough complexity, how can you take some complexity off the agents? So over to you, Aman.
Sure. I'm not a bot. I'm a human, by the way. Just a disclaimer. So yeah, Jayati, maybe we can. Yeah, thank you. So basically, what Sachin and Varun explained are sort of the bottom layers where humans are using these softwares and tools to assist your customers in a better experience. We also have a conversational AI platform. The idea is wherever possible, can we automate the human effort so that we can scale better, right? As I always tell all our users, AI and automation do not really replace humans. They augment humans. For example, at night when humans are not available, these bots can be active and they can collect leads, right? During the non-working hours, during the weekends. Or when humans are working on more important problems, there is a bandwidth constraint. At that time, the bots can automatically answer the customer queries. So I'll walk through the products. Number one is the chatbot product. So essentially using our product, you can design customer workflows, customer journeys within a chat framework. For example, a lead generation journey, lead qualification journey, personal loan application journey for financial services, an e-commerce purchase journey. And these journeys can then be floated out across multiple customer channels. So they can go to WhatsApp, they can go to your website, they can go to your mobile app, wherever your users are coming, right? So that's about the chatbots. Then we now have voice bots as well. So essentially reminding customers about EMI due date. Very simple example, right? You would want to call the customer, and if the customer is not ready to make an EMI payment because of COVID, I'm sure everybody knows that how challenging it was. Businesses would want to collect feedback. Why would the customer not want to make a payment, or when can they make the payment? So we have very powerful voice bots which can talk to customers in a conversational manner, guide them or collect information from them and pass it on in the backend, which is what Sachin mentioned, a common place to store all the data about all the customer interactions. We also have live chat. So using live chat, customers and agents can directly chat with each other for complex queries, which bots can really not, I would say, they can handle complexity to a large extent, but sometimes you have a customer where there is no replacement for a human empathy. At that time, you transfer the chat to a live agent. They can assist the customer in resolving their query. Now that live agent is assisting the customer, we have a powerful integrated co-browsing mechanism. So think of a customer trying to purchase insurance, right? We all have purchased health insurance. and we see 50 questions like, did you suffer from laryngitis in the past? Now, I don't even know what that means. How am I supposed to answer? So in this situation, co-browse can be very effective. In real time, the agent will see what the customer is seeing and they can assist. They will see that, okay, customer has filled these 5 fields, but in the 6th field, they probably have, let's say, missed out an alphabet of the PAN number, or they don't know the meaning of laryngitis. So they can get a view of the agent in real time. So through voice, they are connected, I mean, through telephony, and through co-browse, they can see. So it's as good as sitting together with the customer. And that's where co-browsing helps in increasing the, I would say, conversion across the funnel. Wherever customers are dropping off in the form filling journey, they should be guided. And that's where co-browsing helps. Lastly is a ticketing tool, which is in some ways a desk platform. The idea is that if agent cannot assist, right, they have to park the query somewhere, and that's where the desk platform helps. It helps raise a ticket which can later be resolved. And it allows you to sort of reach out to customers later on after a resolution is made over email, over WhatsApp, over SMS, and so on and so forth. So all of these utilities or tools that I'm showing you, the beauty is they are available across all the channels. So let's say you design a journey on WhatsApp, you can host it on your Instagram page, right? You design a journey on your, I would say, Android SDK, you can host the same on your website. So it helps you build an integrated solution in one place. Content management becomes extremely simple. So tomorrow, let's say if you're a bank or an NBFC, and interest rate goes from 8.1 to 8.5%, you don't have to shuttle across 10 different, I would say, places to change that interest rate. You change it centrally at one place, it will get reflected everywhere, and that makes it really powerful. So on top of that, these bots can really scrape off content from the website, integrate backend APIs and services. So a lot of automation work, which today is done manually by agents, that really can be offloaded from their heads. So let's take in, Jayati, maybe we can go to next slide. Yeah, so first I'll summarize the stack. So like Varun mentioned, right, if in the backend, if one telephony line goes down, we take care and automatically have another telephony line. So that's really the network layer. This is the bare bones infrastructure, connecting with telcos, connecting with WhatsApp, connecting with Instagram, and so on and so forth. On top of that, we have channels layer, which I talked about, that our platform is really omni-channel. I mean, all the solutions that we showcased you, they work across all of the customer touch points. On top of that, we have the platform layer. So one is the unified communications platform. Second is the contact platform, which Sachin talked about. And third is the conversational platform, which I talked about. Using these platforms, so see, platforms are really like Microsoft Word, right? You need to create a document out of them. Same way, on top of these platforms, we have ready-made applications, which is like omni-channel contact center, app-to-app calling, and so on and so forth. And finally, we have, finally, we have these use cases, right? So we are heading from infrastructure to, let's say, API, and now we are heading towards solution. So the problems that we are solving for you is, we'll help you with better lead generation. We will help you manage data effectively. We'll help you in some ways centralize the contact center, right? Centralize the telephony requirements. People are picking up the physical phone, no analytics, right? So we'll help you with centralized reporting and monitoring. We'll help you with conversational commerce, increase in conversion, and so on and so forth. So these are the top box that you see are the problems that we are solving. And the bottom boxes is how we are doing them. So let's take a couple of use cases as well. So this is a simple journey which I will talk about. Sachin will also show you another journey. So let's take a simple example. You got a lead, and what you want to do is convert this lead into a paying customer. So bot can automatically pick up this data from the CRM, and it can ping the customer. So very simple example, you can ping on WhatsApp. Everybody uses WhatsApp, everybody checks notification. And their customer will obviously be interested. What is this? Who is pinging me? What do they add value to my life, right? So you can sort of answer the most common queries. So this is an example of a remote car purchasing experience. So people will be interested in knowing what are the features across the models, comparison of prices, insurance, blah, 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 and stuff like that, right? So bot can answer the most common queries. As soon as the bot does that, it can hand over the chat to a live agent. So now this could be sales agent, maybe from the nearby dealership, maybe from a central team, which is like a virtual relationship management team, which is helping. And their agent can initiate a video call with the customer. So, I mean, car is a high ticket size item, right? I'm sure we all agree that it can't be purchased in a straightforward purchase journey. So agent can show the car over a video call. They can give the comfort to the customer. Trust, I mean, video helps in establishing trust, right? And after that, they can help fill the form. This could be I would say collecting more details of the customer, or even a purchase form. For like, think of e-commerce products. If I am trying to purchase a sound bar, I would want to see over a video and I will make a purchase. For a car, I will probably provide the details of the person who wants to purchase a car, and maybe at least make a 10,000 rupees token payment. Finally, when the car is to be delivered, when the car is, I mean, the ticket, the product purchase has been completed or at least booked, the backend system receives the entire context that what is the journey this customer has gone through. They went through WhatsApp, they went through chat, they went through video, they went through so and so agent, and so the support that they can be provided or the delivery that they can be provided will be top of the class. So AI will analyze all the chats to provide analytics. So what are the products most customers are interested in, from which area are the most common queries coming, and so on and so forth. And CDP helps store all of that data of customer interaction so that as a business, you can take decisions which will help you grow your business faster. So we have another detailed journey. Next slide, Jayati. So the journey we showed, I mean, the one that I showed was more like an offline purchase experience converted into online. This journey is about a better online experience, right? So let's say user is on a website or on a mobile app trying to purchase a product. Could be a financial product, could be an e-commerce product, anything, right? As soon as the user reaches there, the bot will nudge them that, do you need assistance in purchasing? Would you want to know more about a certain product? And so on and so forth, right? So the user gets at least some support in the beginning itself. Now, customer decides to purchase a product, right? So either it will be a successful purchase or they drop off. In case of successful purchase, we have WhatsApp API using which we can send a notification, we can send an order confirmation over telephony, or we can push an SMS, right? And if customer drops off, then in that case, I mean, it's called as an abandoned cart problem, where customer added something to the cart but did not end up completing the purchase. So in such case, let's say this is your CDP data, you know that people of age, let's say 25 years, they tend to complete such purchases at 9 p.m. in the night when they are free, or at 11 o'clock in the night. So precisely at that time, you can push them a notification that, hi Aman, you were trying to purchase, let's say earphones, and looks like you dropped off. Would you like to continue there? So that way, a customer who had abandoned the cart, you can bring them online. You can literally complete the purchase on WhatsApp itself, or you can bring them back to your e-commerce site or WhatsApp, or the web platform, and or mobile app, or you can help them complete there. Apart from that, like wherever customer is confused in decision making, right? So the bottom left box at the last level, if customer is confused, the bot can transfer it to some sales agent, some real-time agent who can help them complete the purchase, right? I mean, they can then talk to the customer over a video call, like we saw in the last example. Once the product is shipped, in that case, you would want to push updates to the customer about, let's say, when is the order arriving, or if it is delayed, and so on and so forth. So again, voice bot can help, SMS can help, WhatsApp can help. All those things can be done. So we also have Truecaller verified number, which means if I get a call from, let's say, an e-commerce company, I will know that it is a legitimate number. I'm sure all of us, as soon as you see 080, you cut the call. At least I tend to do that. But if you see 080 and in the backend, it shows Truecaller verified call from the business from which I have made a purchase, like could be Flipkart, Myntra, Amazon, then I will pick the call, obviously, because I know that I have ordered something. So once the delivery is successful, we can collect feedback from the customer. How was the experience? How was the product? And so on and so forth. This can go back to the reviews section. I mean, how many of us after the purchase go back to Amazon and write reviews, right? Versus if Amazon nudges us, why don't you write a review? I'll probably write it. So later on, basis that, we can provide them a coupon code. We can, I mean, it's an upsell opportunity, which we'll talk about in the next journey. But basically, you can tell them that, why don't you make another purchase? By the way, if you purchase this within 10 days, you'll get 15% off. So that helps you engage the customer and helps you get more and more revenues. And now we also support collection of payments through WhatsApp. So we have integrated WhatsApp UPI payments. So I can transfer the customer from WhatsApp to, let's say, PhonePe, Paytm, Google Pay, collect the payment and bring them back. I mean, there is WhatsApp UPI, but WhatsApp also supports third-party UPI via our platform. So that was the purchase journey. If the delivery fails, which means the delivery didn't happen, then we can have rescheduling calls. If you're not available, a voice bot can call you and say, hi Aman, sorry to hear you were not available. When would you like to reschedule? So I can say tomorrow at 3 o'clock. It's as simple as that for the customer, where it can nudge me on WhatsApp. It can nudge me on a VoIP call where I can just tell my preferences. The natural language processing engine will understand what time and what slot, even in an unstructured data, and it will push back in the system, using which a delivery can be rescheduled. So, and lastly, we have Google Business Messages for customer support. So this is very effective. Today, we all, I mean, whenever we have a problem with a business, we search on Google, right? HDFC Home Loans customer care, simple. So using Google Business Messaging, you don't have to let the customer wait or go to the website. From there itself, you can trigger a message. So it's very powerful. In Google Maps, if you search in many businesses, you will see an option of chat with the business, chat with agent. So that can be integrated with our chatbot platform, and we can automatically assist the customer without them having to come to our website. So GBM may require a whole different presentation. We can talk about that, but broadly, it helps you provide support to the customer or collect lead or book a reservation without them having to come through website from Google search or from Google Maps. So that's an exhaustive journey of how we are sort of helping customers across their, I would say, buyer journey and capturing all of this data. That's the most important point. Imagine this data getting collected across 1 million customers. As a business, you will be empowered to know where are things failing, what are the things you should optimize to grow your revenues. So I think, yeah, next journey, Sachin will talk about.
I'll actually invite Varun to do that, but I wanted to just make a comment on the chat interaction that is happening. If some of you are not seeing it, we are actually seeing people asking about live use cases and how we address them. It is perhaps one of the most exciting webinars that I have attended, where there is so much curiosity about how exactly the OneStack comes along. So thank you so much for your question. Varun, over to you.
Sachin, after this journey and towards the end of the session, we will take the questions live.
Okay, sure, perfect. Thanks.
So guys, what we have for you here is journey of a customer who's purchased a product on EMI, right? The minute he purchases that product on EMI, you want to send him a notification. You have given him the order details. Now you can do that through multiple channels. You can optimize for cost, you can optimize for visibility, and you can all do that all seamlessly. Now, once he purchases, Jayant, can you go to the next one? So yeah, once he purchases, then you got to, probably verify him. You got to give a welcome call and onboard the customer. And that's where the call, the one-to-one call goes from the customer, from the company to the customer. You got to set up that call. You have to do a verification call for him. And all these can be either automated, or you might have a human to kind of call him and give him a welcome call, walk him through the specifics, what's his payment schedules, how are we going to approach payments, etc. Right? And the minute the payment due date is approaching, every company has their own strategy for collecting payments, right? Some might say that I'm going to do, an SMS campaign, or I'm going to send out an SMS notification T-minus 10 days, T-minus 15 days, I'm going to send him, maybe a WhatsApp notification. So everyone has different strategies. The beauty that's going to come with the full stack offering, where everything is going to work together, is you're going to be able to play around, you're going to be able to do A/B testing, and you're going to find out what's really working for your customer base. Maybe in your customer base, maybe in a particular country or a particular state, you have folks who want to get calls. Maybe you have folks where they would like SMSs or a WhatsApp communication, right? So all these need not be projects in itself, right? You can come, drag and drop, figure out the experience that you want, deploy it, see the performance, optimize, keep optimizing it. That's the experience that we are envisioning for you guys. Now, let's say, for example, the customer, doesn't make the payment, he's delayed. Then maybe it's handed over to the collections team, and the collections team is an on-field team that's going over to the customer's location, giving them a call, and the headquarters wants to know how many calls has he done. Is the collections guy actually approaching the customer? Do we have track records? Do we have proof of attempts that these calls are being made? So these can be captured seamlessly. And all these calls, while it's going out for different reasons, some people might want to verify these calls as branded calls. Because some customers might not pick up these calls, you might want to rotate the numbers. That's also going to be possible with us. And all this, again, it's going to be very seamless. Now, let's imagine that the customer makes the payment, right? So once the customer makes the payment, you obviously, give him confirmation, and he is now shown good behavior, and you want to now reward him with, more, credit, or you want to kind of give him the ability to, purchase a new product or give him an incentive. So the bot comes in, either via WhatsApp or maybe via bot and says, hey, do you want to do this? We'll give you a discount. And when he shows interest, the bot goes and sets up a call with the store manager or the relationship manager. And now this call is going to be tracked and taken with the relationship manager at the prescribed time to the customer through any channel. Now, some customers might like to have a WhatsApp conversation. So it might be a two-way WhatsApp conversation that they're having at the prescribed time. Or some people would like to say that, hey, I want to call. Let me call you guys, right? Or some people is comfortable with a video call. So all that would be possible in the current offering. And going forward, the agent now kind of helps him fill up the form, do the entire stuff again. If he gets stuck somewhere, then via co-browsing, he's able to view a screen, then help him out, fill out the form, complete the order, and then you're able to kind of confirm the order update and the entire loop falls again. So this is a journey where a customer has kind of done the entire purchase. And now you as a product manager, you as a business owner want to tweak these things. You want to optimize the entire flow. That's where the real beauty comes in. So this is another journey that we have for you. But I think that's about it from our side. We'd love to take questions.
I think we are right in time. We can wrap this session up. For any more questions that you might have, you can keep writing to us at hello@exotel.com, or you can write directly to sachin@amyo.com. Happy to answer any of the queries, happy to answer how full stack customer engagement platform works, what is our vision, how you can use some of the products and the offerings across all three of us. Welcome to OneXO and hope to see you in rest of the webinars and events that we do in the future. Thank you so much.